The evils of dowry system in our society. A sensitization initiative by Gopal Chandra Memorial College of Education, New Barakpur. The dowry system is one of the most harmful social practices in society. Although often justified as tradition, it has serious negative consequences that affect individuals, families, and the entire social structure. The evils of the dowry system in our society include exploitation of women, domestic violence and harassment, financial burden on families, female feticide and gender discrimination, delay or denial of marriage, breakdown of human values, social inequality and corruption, and psychological impact on the women and the entire family. The history of the dowry system in India is long and complex. It has evolved from a voluntary cultural practice in ancient times into a serious social problem in modern society. In ancient India or Vedic period, especially during this period, dowry was known as Stridhan or woman's property. It consisted of gifts like jewelry, clothes, cattle, and sometimes land, which were given voluntarily by the bride's family to ensure her financial security after marriage. And women had ownership rights over this property. At this stage, dowry was not a demand but a form of inheritance and affection. In the later Vedic and classical period, the practice gradually became more structured. Social norms began to influence marriages, especially among higher castes. Marrying daughters into higher status families increased dowry expectations, and dowry started shifting from voluntary gifts to social obligations. During the medieval period, the status of women declined in many ways. Practices like child marriage and restrictions on women increased. Dowry became more compulsory and status driven. Wealth display during marriages became common among royal and upper class families. During the colonial period or the British era, economic and legal changes altered family structures. Women lost many traditional property rights. Dowry became more commercialized and widespread across communities. Education and jobs for men increased their market value, leading to higher dowry demands. During the post independence era, dowry turned into a serious social evil. Demands for cash, vehicles, appliances, and rise in dowry harassment and deaths were common. The government passed laws like the Dowry Prohibition Act in 1961. Despite legal measures, the practice persists due to social pressure, patriarchal mindset, and desire for status and wealth. The present scenario of dowry practices in India reflects a troubling contradiction. Although legally banned, the practice continues in many forms due to deep rooted social attitudes. Dowry is prohibited under Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. However, in reality, dowry is still widely practiced, often disguised as gifts. Social pressure forces families to comply with demands. Traditional items like gold, clothes, utensils have expanded to cash payments, vehicle electronics, property, etc. It is increasingly seen as a transaction linked to the groom's education, job, and status. Strong influence of patriarchal mindset is noted. Desire for social prestige and fear of social stigma if dowry is not given is also common. Marriage is often treated as a status display, encouraging higher dowry demands. This leads to dowry harassment and domestic violence, emotional and psychological trauma on women, especially, financial burden on the bride's family, and serious cases result in dowry deaths addressed under Section 304B of the Indian Penal Code. In the rural areas, dowry practices are more openly followed, and strong adherence to tradition is noted. In the urban areas, more awareness and legal knowledge is eminent. So, dowry can be avoided but still exists in subtle forms. What is increasing is education and economic independence of women in the society and an awareness and resistance to dowry. Anti dowry campaigns and youths rejecting dowry marriages are seen these days. Social movements promote no dowry marriages, and gender equality and respect are patronized. Emerging positive trends include growing number of simple marriages, intercaste and love marriages, families refusing dowry, and stronger legal awareness and reporting mechanisms. Now, the government initiatives against the dowry system in India. The government of India has taken several legal, social, and awareness based initiatives to combat the dowry system. These measures aim to protect women, punish offenders, and change societal attitudes. Now, the legal measures. Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, the most important law against dowry. It prohibits giving, taking, and demanding dowry and provides penalties, that is imprisonment minimum 5 years and fine up to 15 minimum 15,000 or amount of dowry. The next law is section 498A of Indian Penal Code, which deals with cruelty by husband or his relatives and includes harassment for dowry. It is punishable for imprisonment and fine. Section 304B of Indian Penal Code addresses dowry deaths. If a woman dies within 7 years of marriage under suspicious circumstances, it is presumed to be related to dowry harassment, and punishment of minimum 7 years up to life imprisonment can happen. Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 protects women from physical, emotional, and economic abuse, including dowry related harassment, and provides for protection orders and financial relief. Now, the government schemes and programs include Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, which promotes the value of the girl child and encourages education and reduces gender discrimination, indirectly discouraging dowry. The Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is a saving scheme for girls' future education and financial security and reduces the perceived need for dowry as security. The Mahila Shakti Kendra scheme empowers rural women through community participation and raises awareness about legal rights and social evils like dowry. Awareness and social campaigns against dowry are also visible. The government and NGOs conduct anti dowry campaigns, school and college awareness programs, mass media campaigns on TV, radio, and social media, and promotion of simple marriages and no dowry pledges. Among the role of the institutions, the police and women's cells handle complaints of dowry harassment. National Commission for Women addresses grievances and spreads awareness, and the judiciary ensures strict enforcement of anti dowry laws. The present West Bengal government has taken several initiatives against the dowry system and focuses on the legal enforcement, girls' education, financial support, and social awareness. Instead of only punishing dowry, the state also tries to remove its root causes like poverty, gender inequality, and early marriage. It strengthens legal framework through the Dowry Prohibition Act, West Bengal Amendment Act, that is 1975. The state amended the central law to improve enforcement and works along with national laws like the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. The police and legal authorities are responsible for investigation and punishment of dowry cases. Among the key welfare schemes reducing dowry pressure are the Kanyashri Prakalpo, which provides financial assistance to girls to continue education and encourages girls to remain unmarried until 18 plus. It also helps to reduce child marriage and dowry practices. The Rupashri Prakalpo offers a one-time grant of 25,000 rupees to poor families for daughter's marriage. It is available only if the girl is 18 years or older, and it reduces financial burden that often leads to dowry demands. The Lokhir Bhandar scheme provides monthly financial support to women and promotes economic independence, reducing reliance on dowry as security. The focus on preventing child marriage is implemented through strong link between child marriage and dowry system. The government policies encourage girls' education, delayed marriage, and schemes like Konyashri ensure girls stay in school and marry later, reducing dowry pressure. Among the awareness and social campaigns, several campaigns are carried out in schools and colleges in rural communities, and promotion of simple dowry free marriages, gender equality, and women's dignity are looked into. Celebration of Konyasri Day is also done to spread awareness. The Department of Women and Child Development runs multiple programs for women's welfare and protection. Police, legal cells, and social welfare departments handle dowry complaints and provide support to victims. How the present day youth can raise their voices and resist dowry. Today's youth can do more than just oppose dowry in words. They can actively reshape social norms through clear choices, public action, and consistent support for equality. They can make personal commitment by refusing dowry, both giving and taking, putting it in writing, a no dowry declaration during marriage discussions, and choose partners and families who share this value. They can also start conversations that challenge the norms, that is, question statements like this dowry is being given as a gift, or discuss the harms of the debt, coercion, violence with family and friends related to dowry. They can use college forums, debates, and clubs to keep the issue visible. The youth can also use social media for real impact. They can share stories of dowry free marriages and positive role models. They can create short videos, reels, or posts with clear messages like marriage without dowry should be glorified. Call out glorification of lavish and dowry linked weddings. They can organize and participate in campaigns. They can run no dowry pledge drives in schools and colleges, host poster exhibitions, street plays and awareness walks, collaborate with NGOs working on women's rights and legal awareness, support and protect victims by listening without uh, judgment, and helping them to seek assistance from women's cells or helplines that can encourage documentation of harassment and reporting through legal channels, and stand as witnesses when needed, because silence only helps the abuser. They can promote simple equal marriages by advocating low cost, dignified ceremonies, share budgets transparently between families, or keep it minimal. They can celebrate couples who choose equality over display. They can be financially and socially independent. They can invest in education and skills, which reduces the pressure to secure marriage through dowry. They can normalize marriages based on mutual respect, not status or income bargaining. They can know the law and use it when required. They can be aware of protections like the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 and relevant provisions of Indian Penal Code. And if they witness or face dowry demands, they must report it and make sure that legal action is taken against it. They can build peer pressure for good, form groups that publicly commit to dowry free marriages, make it socially unacceptable uh, among peers to take or ask for dowry or justify dowry, and they can celebrate those who take a stand and challenge those who do not. They can lead by examples created by themselves. Their own choices can set a standard. A single dowry free wedding can influence dozens. When youths consistently reject dowry, it loses its social intimacy. At the end, we can say that dowry survives on silence and social approval. Youth can end it by replacing both with voice and accountability in homes, in campuses, and communities. They must say no to dowry, as dowry destroys relationships, it causes pain, suffering, and injustice, and denies women respect and dignity. It is indeed sad that dowry practices are still prevalent, irrespective of educational and socio-cultural background, and also irrespective of socio-economic status. Let us all take a pledge together and say no to dowry and create and support in creating a dowry free society. Thank you.